Jai Hind children. Topic for today is types of ecosystem. Before moving on to the topic, let us discuss what is ecosystem. All living organisms such as plants, animals, microorganisms and the physical environment interact with each other in the nature to maintain a balance in the nature. So, these living organisms and the non-living constituents of the environment together in an area forms an ecosystem. It is a structural and functional unit of the biosphere. It has both the biotic factor and the abiotic factor. As you can see, the kangaroo, the scorpion, the fishes, the microorganisms, the frog, these are all the biotic factors, whereas the sunlight, heat, the air around it, the water, these are the abiotic factor. And these abiotic and the biotic components are linked together. They are linked together through the nutrient cycle that we will talk later on. The ecosystems are the self-sustained system, that is, they can maintain themselves on their own in the nature. They can be small and very large. Now let us classify the ecosystem and know more about them. This flow chart may give you an idea of for the same. The ecosystem can be the artificial ecosystem, the natural ecosystem. The natural ecosystem can again be of terrestrial ecosystem and aquatic ecosystem. That means the land ecosystem and the water ecosystem. Again, the terrestrial ecosystem can be grouped into broadly forest, grassland, desert, etc. And the aquatic ecosystem can be marine ecosystem or freshwater ecosystem depending upon the type of water present. Now let us first talk about the artificial ecosystem. The artificial ecosystem are the ecosystems which have been created and maintained by human beings. They are also called the man-made ecosystem. Garden, cropland, farm, aquarium, these are all the artificial ecosystem. When someone wants to create an aquarium or make an aquarium, children, what he does? First, he takes a container, puts some water in it, and then adds an water pump. Why? Because water pump will make it the oxygen content available. Then he puts some source of light. He puts a heater, light for illumination and heater for making the water warm or maintaining the temperature of the water. He may add a thermometer to it. So these are all the abiotic factors. Then a few aquatic plants, fishes are added to it, which are the biotic factors. But is it sufficient to maintain the ecosystem? No, because see, the decomposer system or the cleaning of water, availability of all kind of food is not sufficient. So it has to be cleaned and cleaned by the human being, and thus it makes it an artificial ecosystem. So an artificial ecosystem is not a self-sustaining system and cannot survive without the human assistance. But a natural ecosystem is an ecosystem which can survive on its own. So, the natural ecosystem, it develops in the nature without human support. The abiotic factors and the biotic factors interact and maintains the system. So, it is a naturally occurring system, and they have the living component and the non-living component, and these living component and non-living component interact together and helps its sustenance. They may be terrestrial ecosystem, they may be the aquatic ecosystem. The terrestrial ecosystem, as the name suggests, occur on the land. They are majorly of three types, that is forest, desert and grassland. The forest ecosystem, you can see over here, has very big tall trees or shrubs or herbs, many different kinds of plants depending upon the climatic condition. With this, it has different types of organisms and which interact with each other. So, the forest ecosystem, they can survive a lot. They are majorly the ecosystem where there is very high rainfall, large number of plants and animals are there. So, they are very, very stable. The forest ecosystem can again be of different types based on the climatic condition, such as the tropical forest, the tundra forest, etc. Now, the grassland. This is the grassland ecosystem. You can see here the tall grasses, or it can also contain some shrubs. It's a perfect region for the grazing animal. The atmosphere here is quite pleasant, and the organisms are mostly the grazing animals. Next comes the desert ecosystem. It almost covers the 17% of the Earth's surface. Excessive temperature, extreme sunlight, less available water, etc. do not allow many varieties of plants and animals to survive here. We can see the xerophytic plant, which needs very less water, like cactus, and animals like camels, reptiles, etc. Again, depending upon the climatic condition, the desert ecosystem also can be of different types. Now, let us go and discuss about the aquatic ecosystem. As the name says, aquatic ecosystem means ecosystems in water. It has low temperature. The soil and the vegetation are mostly submerged here, and depending upon the environment condition of the water or the abiotic factors, this aquatic ecosystem can again be grouped into marine ecosystem and freshwater ecosystem. In marine ecosystem, we find the salty water, and in freshwater ecosystem, we find the sweet water, and so the organisms, the biotic factors becomes different. The marine ecosystem is the largest ecosystem. Almost 70% of the ecosystems are marine. So, these ecosystems are again of various types, that is salt marshes, estuaries. Estuaries are the places where the sea water and the river water mixes. So salt water and sweet water is mixing over here. So the type of organisms here varies. The ocean floor, the coral reefs, very interesting children. If you go deep inside the sea, if you go for diving inside the sea, you will find a very picturesque view over there of the coral reefs in certain areas, and you will find very colorful fishes in that there with some very different types of plants or the submerged plants. So these are the different types of marine ecosystem. Coming to freshwater ecosystem. The freshwater ecosystem, they include the lakes, ponds, rivers, etc. They are very contrast with the marine ecosystem, because as we discussed that marine ecosystem has large salt content, and the organisms surviving there, the fishes surviving there are very different from the fishes which are there in the sweet water or in the freshwater ecosystem. The freshwater ecosystem can again be divided into lotic ecosystem and lentic ecosystem. This is a lotic ecosystem. Why lotic ecosystem? Because the water is moving. So rivers, springs, etc., they have the lotic ecosystem. But when the water is standing, such as when we see the water in the lakes and the ponds, in the standing water, again the organisms are different. You can see many water hyacinth or lotus in the lentic or the standing ecosystem. Thus, children, these are the few different types of ecosystem. They are all very amazing, and you won't believe there are different types of organisms found in each of the ecosystem. So, thank you children. Hope you have understood the different types of ecosystem. Thank you.